I try to share screen first, see whether all of you can see the slides. Okay, does anyone see the slides?
Yes, we can see.
Yes, huh? That's good. Okay, so honestly, I'm come from environmental competency consultancy, Bahai. And then this is me itself. Okay, name is Donald Ong. I'm having a 10 years experience in this environmental field since I graduated from Multimedia University. So initially qualifications is human resource development, my bachelor degree. And then afterwards, I received the additional qualifications in certified environmental professionals in wastewater treatment system, in physical and biological chemical process. And then I get my certified waste management. And then afterwards, I received my certified HRDF trainer. And then I begin my career in R&D executive and then promoted to environmental engineers. Furthermore, I become a senior environmental consultant. And then now in ECC is one of the technical and training directors. Okay, brief, simply sharing who are we. Okay, we are the company that emphasize on environmental protections. So that's why we are keep on providing specific professional consultancy for all our clients in ensure their pollution control system is well managed and function according to our specific requirements as stated in our Environmental Quality Act 1974. Okay, so these are the Holy Bible that usually I will eat every day. And then our vision basically is to promote and then to enhance all the technical knowledge through the training provided by ECC. And then here is our official company website. You wish to know us more, you can visit our eccsb.com.my. Okay, meanwhile, here is our Instagrams and even our Facebook page. We will keep on posting all the related environmental informations every week. So if you wish to know more about the current pollution statistic and some of the tips on environmental protections, you can follow and like us in Facebook so you can get more information. Okay, here is the locations of our ECC HQ. I was inside my own office now. And then here is our ECC new launch. On this March, we just launched our ECC training center at Kamangaya. But then so far it's under pandemic, so we couldn't run any physical classes. So far all our training courses still running online. Okay, so here is the previous training that we conducted before. These are the in-house training. So we are conducting the training on client side to teach them how to operate and do the testing according to the equipments and facilities on site. Here is for the metal manufacturing industry, wiper blade industry in Senawang, plastic molding industry in Senai. As the picture below, you can see, we try to do hands-on activity on their wastewater treatment system. Okay, here is the plastic molding industry also. Palm oil mill industry. And then all the public training that we conducted before, we teach them how to do the troubleshooting on their wastewater treatment system. And then we have a proper laboratory system. Laboratory, we can say laboratory sessions. We teach them how to analyze the composition that basically contain inside the wastewater. And then for the occupational safety and health, we have this kind of confined space training, noise and hearing conservation programs, and many more training that we ongoing from time to time. So even though after you graduated, no matter what kind of degree that you get, even though I'm still furthering my master in environmental engineering under UTM, no matter how, we still need to keep on improvise and improving ourselves from time to time regarding on the technology available in the current markets. So here are basically all the other related services that we conducted. Okay, I'm visiting everywhere. I even go to the shipyards and then doing all these kind of noise assessments, okay, chemical assessments. And then here are the previous kind of what we call that the statistic, okay, for our training appraisal. Usually we managed to achieve 4 and above kind of rating. Here are the simple evaluations. Okay, so I'm just taking less than 10 minutes in order to introduce about all these things. Okay, so now I will straight jump to the topic today. Okay, before I further continues, does my sound clear enough for you all? Okay,
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, good. And then languages preferences. We are in Malaysia. Does anyone like Rojak? Or you one fluent in English? Or one prefer Rojak kind of languages? This is what I usually will ask.
I think it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay, fluent English, full English, no Rojak. Okay, then started now. We really go for the today topics. So which is the cyclical environments of E-Waste. Okay, here we briefly touch about these things. Wait, I hide a little bit or else you'll cover mine. Okay, what is the meaning of E-Waste itself? According to our Departments of Environment, E-Waste in Malaysia are considered as the electrical and electronic appliances that is broken or considered non-working, old, or obsolete kind of machines. So here we have different kind of, we can see examples, which is your washing machine, refrigerators, televisions, personal desktop or your laptop itself, air conditioners, and even the most common mobile phones. Okay, so here is the types of the e-waste itself. And then just wish to ask one question because I wish to have more interactive kind of training itself or during the sharing sessions. Do you consider battery under e-waste? Does the battery fall under the category of e-waste or battery supposed to be in other category? Anyone are welcome to give me a feedback. Let me see on the chat. Oh, got people say not sure. But then this one, forget it lah. She sure, I also don't know. Okay, I wish to come from the interactors lah. Do you consider battery is one of the e-waste?
I think yes.
I think yes. Chloe mentioned yes, huh?
Me too.
Okay. Who seconded? President?
Yes, I support Chloe.
Oh, you support Chloe, seconded and Chloe's ideas. But then I tell you, the answer is wrong. Battery cannot consider under e-waste because why? It's under our schedule waste code. So under my Holy Bible itself, under our schedule waste regulation 2005, e-waste are considered under hazardous waste, which is under the code of SW110. But then for the battery itself, they are fall under the category of SW103 because it consists of lithium. Our ordinary use kind of battery is considered of a lithium battery. Previously, it's using cadmium. Now improvised into lithium batteries. But then lithium is one of the radioactive waste, consider of it. So far they are fall under different categories. So we cannot categorize battery into the type of e-waste. Okay. What's wrong with my slide? It's stuck. And I gotta reshare again the screen because the slide stuck. Okay, does the slide moving? I think it's moving. I think it's moving now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so composition of the e-waste itself. So inside one electronic appliances, we take handphone as one of the examples. Okay, what are the things that consist inside one handphone? You can see there's an iron steel frame casing, which is the plastic material. Non-ferrous metals such as copper used in the cables, glasses, screen windows, plastic cable, circuit boards, electronic compartments like the PCB board, and others like the rubber, ceramics, and some of the woods composition inside. Here are the general composition of the e-waste once you doing the segregation. Okay, so based on the statistic is showing here, on the year of 2006, basically we are generating 652.9 metric tons of electronic appliances. On the year of 2008, we are basically generating 688.1 metric tons. And then the effect of the e-waste, why we need to emphasize claiming that you cannot simply throw your e-waste into the dustbin. Just wish to share this simple information to all of you. Okay, once I said I want to change a new handphone, I just throw this used handphone into the dustbin. Where is the life cycles of this handphone? The used handphone will go. Honestly, you can see the garbage collector truck. Every week, there will be a garbage collector truck goes in front of your house, collect all the rubbish and trashes that you are throwing inside the main dustbin. Where do we go? Okay, basically all these general waste will transmit into our ordinary landfill area. Okay, in JB, our ordinary landfill area are in Silong. So all the general waste will be transmitted from the waste generator, which is you, your houses. They collect either one by one. After that, they will transmit all the waste into the landfill area, and then they will dispose everything on the landfill. And then what we will be goes, they were using what we call JCB or Kobe in order to landfill it under the grounds. So that is something very typical will be happens. Hey, what's wrong with the screen? Huh? How come there's a B come out? Okay, so as I said, all these things will be landfill under the ground for more than 100 years. As all of these inorganic composition, once you landfill it under the ground, they will stay underground for 100 years and above. And then they will be slowly being absorbed by our soil and then slowly contaminated our underground water sources. And then it will generating pollutions to our mother nature. So that is the reason why we don't want all this kind of pollution happens. Okay, before you can properly dispose it, okay, illegally, or we can say irresponsibly dispose any hazardous waste goes into our natural environments, you must think about the pollution first. So here is the compositions that basically consist inside the e-waste. So if you just simply throw this used handphone into the rubbish, into the dustbin itself, it goes to the land, slowly absorbed down. All these kind of pollutants will be slowly being absorbed by the soil and waters. First is the lead. It will damage your central parallel nervous systems, and then your mercury will create a carcinogenic damage for your brain, respiratory, even your nerving systems. Berylliums contain dust, means fume that damage lungs, acts on human and create carcinogenic, okay, which is create cancers and all these kind of harmful. All these harmful substances basically will bring a very strong side effects to every one of us. Okay, and then even though plastic, everyone say plastic is okay, but then plastic, once you burn it, it will create dioxin, and then all this kind of dioxin basically will kill us. Okay, and then the chromium basically is not only bring some of the damage on that, chromium will bring the damage on your DNA and cause asthmatic. Okay, mercury will directly harmful to you and even the environment at the same time. Okay. Host, can you help me to check how come the screen come up with the B sign over there that cover it? It's seriously annoying, you know.
The blue writing, is it?
Yes. How come this thing can be coming out?
Someone had draw. Let me see whether I can delete it or not.
It's very annoying on the screen. Okay. Now we further continue.
Unshare and share again.
What do you mean? I got to stop my sharing first?
No, wait. Keep
without further delay, it's okay lah. I just need to bear on this wording, even though I hate that so much. Okay, so based on the published project, we will be creating an average 40% annually kind of e-waste generated. And then up to the year 2021. As you know, see the wordings, you know. Okay.
I propose you to unshare and share again.
Does it use?
Yes, because I think just now you are the one who accidentally to draw it.
I'm the one that doing it.
Yeah, so I cannot delete on behalf of you.
Oh, okay. So is myself annoying myself lah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I cannot do anything because it's my own fault. Okay.
Rtn Donald, maybe they're saying baik bagus.
What?
Baik bagus. Bagus. Baik.
Okay.
Bagus.
Thank you, Misam. Okay. But then by an average of 40% annually in Malaysia, and then by on year 2020, a total of 1.17 billions, or we can say 21.38 million tons of the e-waste will be generated in Malaysia only. This is only in Malaysia. It's not in the whole world. So that's why we are generating e-waste from day to day, from time to time. Each of the day, we will be keep on thinking want to buy new phones, especially for the youngsters now. When there's a new phones coming out, and then you will directly think you want to dispose your old phone and then change the new phones. But then you don't know how to properly dispose your used phones. So make sure don't keep it until it's fully rusted and then you just throw it away into the dustbin. Okay, so now we are doing estimation until the year of 2025 by our departments of environment. So based on the estimation itself, until year 2025, we were generating 24.5 million units of e-waste in Malaysia. And then the main will be contributing, the highest contributor of the e-waste will be the mobile phones. As you can see from the statistic here. The things that we are showing here, you can see the mobile phones will be the highest generators. Okay, from the year 2021 until year 2025. Okay, and then now we talk about the recycling processes, because we know we can doing a proper waste collection. Okay, and then we dispose to the proper waste receiver. But then how are the recycling process ongoing? You also wonders, right? Under this one composition of the e-waste, how many works we need to do our proper segregation? So first thing, collect and transporting. So collect and transporting shall be done by who? Collecting shall be done by proper licensed waste receiver, which is certified by our law itself, by our departments of environment. They are the only one can creating the collection points and then let you send over your e-waste to them. So they were doing the proper waste collection and transport them. And then before they transport, usually they will do partial recovery and fully recovery. In Malaysia, we have two different kinds of recovery facilities. One is partial recovery facilities. Another one is fully recovered facilities. Under these two categories, for the partial recovery facilities, the receiver only can collect and then doing the waste segregation. Right in front here, we talk about these things, right? Inside, we have different kind of component. We have different kind of component inside one electronic appliances. So partial recovery facilities, what they can do, they only can receive. After that, they open up the whole electronic appliances. They're separating. Plastic waste goes to plastic waste, glass goes to glass, and then PCB board go to PCB board, and then any batteries go to batteries, different component. Okay, that is what we call partial recovery facilities. So before they can go for shredding and sorting, dust extraction, magnetic separations, water separations, these three categories are fall under fully recovery facilities. For partial recovery facilities, only collect, transport, shredding and sorting only. So you can see from here, they're only here. For the partial recovery, only can do collect, transporting until shredding. And then the fully recovery facilities, they can do the whole set works until it's fully recovered. And then the benefit of recycling of e-waste. This very important key that we need to share by today, which is conserve natural resources. This is a thing. Recover your valuable material from electronic products that either old or no longer used. Less an effort on how raw material earth sources obtaining from recycled waste, such as copper, lead, and metal. Okay, frankly speaking, to ask all of you, do you know most of the, can see, okay, simple, we take this one, phone case. Phone case are most of the time come from recycled plastic. And then under plastic itself, we have 7 different kind of categories. And then how you can identify which category or which kind of the resin being used to produce for this plastic waste is basically written. Let me find an example. Okay, like this plastic container. You can see from here, it has a sign of 5 and then it mentioned is PP. PP stands for polypropylene. So this is come from recycle. This can be recycled under category 5 and then is polypropylene material. All of the plastic waste that being used, basically they have all this kind of signage. And then if you wish to do a proper waste segregation, you must sorting all the waste according to their nature and sources itself. That only can simplify the work. Now we don't talk about so much detail about this thing, but then we just wish to encourage all of you, if possible, we can do a proper waste segregation at home. It's already been prioritized quite a long time ago. Since 2 years ago, we have tried, our government is trying to launch a program mentioning about the proper waste segregation at your household waste. But then a lot of citizens are doing the protest and then against about this project because they don't want to burden themselves. Why we still need to spend so much time and effort in doing waste segregation? Because that is a waste. We're supposed to just throw it into the dustbin and then let someone else then collect it and then just dispose it. But then you must understand, most of the waste, they can be recovered. It can be recycled. We can make them live again, live once again. It's not like human. Human die, we just burn or we just bury it, then it's all gone. But then all these kind of natural resources, we have a new technology in order to make them live once again. So you must give them a new life instead of just let them bury it down under the ground or just incinerate it. It isn't fair for them. Also isn't fair to our mother nature because we keep on consuming all the natural resources from time to time, but then we don't know how to return all these natural resources back to our mother nature. So as a responsible citizens, no matter for Malaysia or for your citizenship for our whole world, or you need to claim yourself as a responsible citizens for the earth. So make sure you know what you are doing right now. Okay, so conserve natural resources is most important. Prioritize your environmental protection. So I no need to keep on emphasize about the description inside. Create jobs and opportunity. Yes, because right, when we run for all these kind of recycle and receiver activities, basically we are creating a new kind of industry. And then we can create basically more advanced, we can say more opportunity, more working opportunities. At the same time, we also create high quality of job opportunity for the graduates because we need more and more researchers. We need more and more senior executive and technician, even a lot of engineers in order to make sure the whole system can be run consistently and achieve the specific target that we want to achieve. Save landfills and global warmings. Yes, On my previous sharing sessions, got one student asking a questions about this thing. Donald, we are now transmitting ourselves from using plastic. Now you can see we're not much using this kind of plastic bags anymore. All this kind of polyethylene plastic bags. We are transmit back into the era of 60s, something like that. We are using a lot of paper bags. Okay, we use a lot of this kind of paper bags. And then when you use paper bags, basically what are the natural resources that you harmful for it? We are harming the trees, because as all of you know, the paper are come from trees. So when we use a lot of papers, it's biodegradable, but then at the same time, we will gain harmful effect to the trees and even to our forests. So at the same time, they say, if you are currently encouraging a lot of people using paper bags, which means does it will create a global warming effects to our earth. But then honestly, the trees, once we cut off the trees, we can plant back the trees. But then once we're creating all these kind of non-biodegradable products, it won't degrade. And then it will stay with us for 100 years. So that's why we don't want to create this kind of impact. And then what are the major issue of creating the global warming? It's not that we're cutting down the trees. Okay, it's not we develop the forest. The forest, we can protect the forest, we can plant back the trees, but then the only thing is we create a lot of carbon source. Each of the days, you are generating a lot of carbons. You are generating a lot of CO2s. All the CO2s being generated from our daily activities like your transport vehicles and all your open burnings, these are the major effects that basically create the global warming issues. So at the same time, conserve the energy, make sure you return back all the resources that you get from our mother nature. That is the only way we can make sure to control the current global warming of being expanded. And then here I'm putting up a lot of examples for the composition in the e-waste. So inside the mobile phones, you can see there is a hazardous materials, and then there is some of the precious materials. So from the hazardous itself, inside your mobile phones, it contains lead, mercury, arsenic, and cadmiums. But then inside also consists of very precious metal like gold, silver, tungsten, and copper. Inside our air conditioners, what are the things inside? Hazardous material or hazardous harmful substance, chlorofluorocarbons, CFC. But then nowadays, we already improvise of reducing down the usage of CFC. Okay, polyvinyl chloride, PVC itself on the casings, polychlorinated biphenyls, PCB, cadmiums. And then the precious metal inside also consists of gold, steel, copper, and aluminiums. Televisions, same thing, lead, mercury, antimony, cadmiums. Precious metals, they have aluminium, steel, glass, and copper. Inside your washing machine, PCB, mercury, lead, brominated flame retardants, BFRs. And then on the precious metal itself, you have stainless steel, aluminiums, plastics, and copper. Laptops, seleniums, mercury, chromiums, cadmiums. But then the precious metal, we have zinc, nickel, gold, and copper. Inside refrigerator, even more, okay? Even more of the things, but then more or less similar. And I want to emphasize at here, our departments of environment basically launching apps, okay? What we call My E-Waste, okay? My E-Waste, they're being generated, okay, being produced by our departments of environment, which is encouraged on the e-waste collection. So you can just download it, no matter you are using iPhones or using any Android phones, you can just download on your app store. You just search My E-Waste, then you can download it. And then the information that I'm sharing to you just now are basically all listed here. And then inside here, they're providing you a search file collector. Okay, you just click on find collectors, and then you can realize that which are the electronic shops are basically collaboration with departments of environments to collect all your used e-waste. Okay, so from here, you can return your used electronic appliances to the proper receiver. Once they receive all your used e-waste, they will do proper storage, collection, and then even they will transmit all your used e-waste to the proper waste receiver that are doing fully recovery facilities. And then e-waste as a resources. So from here, we give you few examples that come from our departments of environments. You can see from the PD, the CRT itself, it can generating cable, coil, which consists of copper. The case consists of plastic. And then the cathode ray tubes, which consists of glass. Inside here, we can separating out there's a lead. Okay. And then here, you can see out of the 30% of the material from the cathode ray tubes is plastic, iron 40%, copper 5%, then you can see glass 51%. So in order to recover e-waste, it's not as simple as you thought. Okay, the process is very long, and then we need to go many different kind of recovery techniques and technology in order to doing a proper segregation. It was very time consuming. And then we just finished our, almost nearly finished, I haven't finished yet, our Tokyo Olympics. And then Japan basically are using all this kind of e-waste recovery to produce 32 kg of the gold, 3,500 kg of silver, 2,200 kg of the, we can see the copper itself that were extracted from the electronic, wrapped in more than 3 million worth of precious metal from 5 millions of devices. So in order to produce all these metals, Japan are doing this e-waste collection since on the year 2017. Okay, they're using so many years of time in order to ask for their citizens to provide all these new electronic appliances, and then they take years in order to do proper waste segregation and recovery in order to recover all the precious metal inside, and then use this recovery precious metal to produce all these Olympic medals. So these are something very inspiring us. Okay, it's very inspiring. And then I wish every country can do these things. Even upcoming, we will try to do this kind of activities. I will encourage all of you to doing a proper waste, e-waste collection center. Okay, all of you can bring all the e-waste to your schools, and then I will arrange a proper license receiver to go there to collect all your e-waste in one shot. Okay, these are the things that we shall do to make sure we protect our beloved Mother Nature. Okay, and then here is the things that what we call as a circular economy in the e-waste. Last time is a linear economy, which means I like this phone, I buy this phone, I use this phone, after that I dispose this phone. It's a very linear, it's a straight line from the manufacturers to the buyers, okay, to the manufacturers to the seller to the buyers to the disposal. So it's a linear, which is a line. But now we don't wish to have this kind of linear economy anymore. We wish to have the circular economy. So which means from the manufacturer of the importer goes to the retailer, retailer goes to the consumers, consumer knows the e-waste idea. And then you are disposing your proper e-waste to the registered collector, goes to the recovery facilities, it becomes back to the natural, we can say the natural resources, or we consider as a raw material, and then it produced again by our manufacturer. So these are a very good example of a circular economy. All of you know how to return back your resources, and then we reuse back the existing resources. We don't consuming the raw resources anymore. Okay. And then here are the e-waste flow. From here you can see from the generator itself are the manufacturer, governments, commercial units, council, and consumers. And then from here, we are generating your e-waste. authorized collector centers and collectors, which is the recyclers, refurbishers, e-waste trader, local council recycling centers, NGO, charity organizations, produce take back initiative. Then all of this will be goes down to the household e-waste recovery facilities. Before it can goes down here, household e-waste recovery already is a partial license holder by our departments of environment. And then the recycling industry, this one is the fully recovery facilities, which is licensed by our departments of environment. Okay, the final waste residues only goes to the landfill. Okay, we won't throw anything, the whole piece of e-waste into our landfill anymore. No. Okay, we will only throw the component that is harmful and hazardous, which is cannot be recovered and reused, to the landfill, to the proper grave of the scheduled waste. And then the resources that we can recover and retrieve, we must retrieve the resources back. And then down to here is almost the end. I need to special thanks to my staff, which is Nur Sufia Suraya, Chang Sun Zhang, okay, and then Muhammad Nazri bin Muhammad Yusuf. They are the guys that behind me that assist me to sort out all this data and preparing this slide for all of you. So really, I appreciate all their hard work. Okay, so I'm open for the Q&A sessions now in order to answer all the questions one by one. Is there any questions on the floor? Oh, why so silent? Okay, I got to encourage all of you to have more questions. I got one principle. If you don't ask me question, I will pick one by one to ask you questions. Oh,
hi.
Okay.
Okay. I would like to ask whether what is the best way to create awareness in the society besides campaign?
How to create awareness besides campaign? Okay, these are very good questions. I'm trying to run for all these kind of awareness campaign for how many years? I'm running for this kind of campaign is more than 4 years already. Okay, and then even though I try to share all these informations to the undergraduate students in university and all these things, I also don't think it's very impactful. Okay, but then for now, the only thing is we just can try to share all the information that we have to our friend and family members. So what I always emphasize here, you come and attend for this seminar. I share these information to you. What I'm expected from you is not that you try to acting yourself, you know. You must try to influence others. Peer-to-peer influences is very one important. And then another thing is how you can influence your family members. Okay, I was trying my very best to influence my mom. Don't simply throw the waste oil into the drain. But then this one already cost me like so many years. Okay, after my mom cooked, frying all the fried chicken and all these things, they said, "Oh yes, son, I'm giving you this so nice of fried chicken." But then I tell you how you manage your waste oil. They say I just pour into the drain. And I say, how come you can do this? But then I creating all these kind of containers at home. I asked my mom, don't simply throw waste oil into the drain. You must pour it into the container. And then I will bring all this waste oil to the recovery facilities. Okay. You must starting from you first. Before you want to run any campaigns or before you want to do any influence others, you try to influence yourself first. You must make sure you yourself is the role model. You do everything in correct way. And then from your actions, you can slowly influence the others. Okay. As a very simple actions, in Japan, the kids with the age of 5, they know how to do proper waste segregation, you know. The kids only age of 5. after they finish drinking the mineral water, yes, after they done drink these mineral waters, they know they need to open up the caps. The caps is under different plastic category. And then the label is under different plastic categories. And then for this bottle is under different category. They know how to do all these things. Who are the one that influence them? Is the campaign influence them or the family influence them? Everything are start from home. Everything are start from your. Everything are start from yourself. So that is the only reason. All these kind of awareness campaign is, I think, I'm just trying to share all the information that basically I have. I try to influence all of you. And then afterwards, I seriously, all of you can become another influencer to influence others. By starting influence others, you better try to influence your family first. Start from your home. You're doing a proper waste segregation at homes. And then you try to retrieve and recover all the resources that basically you are using every day. Don't simply just after I finish up the bottles and then I just simply throw away the bottles, all this thing. Okay? Am I answering your questions, Ms. Juliana?
Yes, thank you.
I'd like to ask a question, but it's not really related to the e-waste. I'd like to ask on how to deal with our kitchen waste, because my mother is same. They like to throw the waste into a drain.
Okay, these are the very good questions actually. Okay, now basically, as the crops of the kitchen waste itself, it consists a lot of oil. Okay, the use of waste oil, I will always encourage you to collect all the waste oil. Upcoming, I think we will have a recovery station in order to collect the waste oil from a household kitchen. But then nowadays, even the restaurant also just simply throw their waste oil. So we are trying to deal with the legal authorities, see whether how we can improvise this thing. Okay, does any recovery facilities can let all of us proper dispose or proper send over our waste oil to them? Okay, and then if you're dealing some with the kitchen waste, like you peel off the skin of the fruits, okay, the skin of the fruits, okay, the leftover of the vegetables. This one, if you wash it properly, you can use it as a raw material to build up an eco-enzyme. It can be eco-friendly, assist in order to make sure our water quality, because now we have a research paper done by UTM, done by our professor, Dr. Yong. She is the one that handled for this matching grant with Taiwan. Okay, we run for this research on how to use eco-enzyme to improve our water quality. So furthermore, I will try to doing some other workshop to teach you how to do the eco-enzyme at home. And then once you produce the eco-enzyme, you can just use this eco-enzyme, you pour it into your drain. You can make your drain looks more cleaner and then less stink, less odor. And then at the same time, you can assist our environments to improve the water quality. Last time we tried to do this program in Malacca. We used to launch this program in Malacca on the year of 2014 and 2015 when I'm with my ex-company. But then during that time, we are not using eco-enzyme, we are using effective microbes. But then now it's more proven the eco-enzyme have better effectiveness. Okay, better effectiveness in improving the water quality. Okay. So before you can use that to become the raw materials, make sure you clean up the waste. Okay, another thing I want to highlight here is before you wish to do any recycle for any plastic waste or paper waste, make sure there is no residues inside. Okay, when there is still a lot of waste residues inside and then you just scrap it and then you just throw into the recycle bin, that doesn't help. Okay. It only creates a very side effects while we are carrying on for the recycle activities only. Okay. So make sure you clean up the plastic bottles, you make sure it's clean, only you store it in the proper waste segregation bin. That one will help.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
I would like to ask, because since our government is not like organizing the Olympic, I mean from now, it
Okay.
seems to impossible to organize it. And I would like to ask if the government they successfully collected the precious metal like the gold from the e-waste, how will they deal with it?
How will they deal with it?
Yeah, because they're not going to do measures.
Okay. Or they will not use it to build out the metals, right? Okay. Especially now, all the recovery facilities, as I mentioned to you, that is a circular economy. So once we retrieve all this precious metal out, they will definitely sell it again to the manufacturer. Okay, we will sell again all the gold, all the copper, nickel, zinc, all these kind of precious metal back to the manufacturer. And then they will reuse again all these metals into their production line. So that is what we call, we're giving them a new life. Now there is a new, we can say this one, this one. Okay, this one still not that old, okay, iPhone 11. This one, iPhone 8. If I don't want to use it already, okay, I send it over to the recovery facilities, it can become iPhone 12. Because you're giving them a new life. So okay, it can become iPhone 12 or iPhone 14 in future. Okay, so that is what we want to emphasize here. You must give them a new life instead of directly bury them underground.
Also, that means now the current iPhone 12 is made up of the metals that are reused.
Some of them, yes, got 30% of the recovery facility. They got 30% out of the components are basically come from the used iPhone that being collected by the Apple itself. Okay, nowadays, most of the electronic appliances, even your laptops, they're also emphasizing on recycle. So 25 or 30% of the plastic that being used to produce the casing are come from the used laptop that they recover from their existing users. Yes, I have questions in the chat box, am I right? Esther, if battery is not considered as e-waste, thus we can't find a collector by using. What should we do to the used battery? 3 types of recycle bin. None of them suitable for the battery. Okay. Okay, none of them suitable for the batteries. This one from Esther. Okay, Esther, just as I mentioned to you, even though they are not fall under the e-waste category, what am I doing now? Okay, I will create my own recycle bin at home, which means all the used batteries I will put inside one single container. Then afterwards, I will bring over to, they also can see any station. Sometimes inside the shopping mall, they will put a recycle station over, which means specifically for the batteries, for the used batteries one. I will use, because all of you hardly to find all these kind of station. Usually I will directly bring all these used battery to the Departments of Environment. Because inside Departments of Environment's office, there is a collection tank, collection bin, specifically for the batteries itself. So most of the time, I will bring all these used batteries to that area and then I pour it into their collection bin. But then anyway, it should be good. But all of you can keep the used batteries instead directly to dispose them into the dustbin. So Esther, am I answering your questions? Okay, good. Any more?
Okay, Rtn Donald Ong.
Yes.
I think the problem with these Malaysians, when it comes to asking them to do things, the thing is, okay, what is it for me? What is it in it for me? They don't see the bigger picture. They don't see the environmental damage, you see. So even like you said, the kitchen, the oil, right, from the kitchen. So even in Indonesia, they have program, they even have like motorcycles going from home to home collecting this, and they are being paid, although very little. They are being paid a little. So the problem with Malaysians is like we are not like Japanese or like Koreans. We have that kind of sense of responsibility towards the environment. So yeah. So is there anything like maybe let's say we said I downloaded that I installed what you said, the My E-Waste there. And
Yes.
also another thing is convenience, other than what is it for me. And I think it's convenience. And I find there's only one SendQ in Batu Pahat Mall. That's it.
Yes. But then so far, basically SendQ is not the license, it's not the license receiver. It's just like they are the appliances seller, electronic appliances seller. So they're applying with the Department of Environment said, once I sell off one new refrigerator, I can collect back their used refrigerator. And then once SendQ receive, SendQ won't doing any recovery because they are not licensed for doing recovery. They will just collect and then they send to the partial recovery facilities. Ask them in order to do the waste segregation. So SendQ is just a drop-off point. We consider as a drop-off point of e-waste.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that one way to
it's good.
encourage Malaysians to recycle. It's just like, okay, why are Malaysians recycling paper? Why are Malaysians recycling, let's say, plastic? Because they can get that little bit of money for it when they send it to the recycling center. But what about e-waste?
Yes. E-waste also the same, but then e-waste, we won't encourage you to get any cents from the recovery facilities anymore. Because the process of reproducing or recycling the e-waste is quite expensive comparing to recycling the plastic and recycling the papers.
Yeah, but it will take a long time to actually convince everyone to do it if there's nothing in it for them.
Yes, that's the reason why. Because most of the time, we do watch some of the videos online. They bring one, we can say, rice cooker to the waste receiver. They say, I want to sell off this rice cooker. And then the rice cooker say, RM2. And then they say RM2, and then they straight away throw the rice cooker into the dustbin. They say, what for? I'm driving for so many kilometers out from my house to the recycling facilities. And then the recycling receiver only said, $2 or RM2 for it. Wasting my time and wasting my resources and even wasting my petrol. So at the same time, we want to change all the people mindset now.
Yeah. So I mean, if Japan can do it, if Korea can do it, even Indonesia also they can do it. How come Malaysians can't? What's the problem here?
Indonesia, basically, we are still far in front comparing to Indonesia. But then it's just like, Indonesia just now you mentioned, they let the motorcycle goes by house to collecting the waste oil. That is not a proper way in order to complete for the waste collection actually. Because you won't know, because in Malaysia, we want the traceability of our waste. Like a simple example, I'm a factory, okay? I'm producing different kind of waste every day. I need to key in all my waste into the electronic e-waste system, electronic schedule waste inventory system. We call e-Swiss systems. Once we key in all our waste inventory inside the systems, Departments of Environment basically can trace our activity, our waste activities. I'm generating 1,000 kilo, and then this 1,000 kilo I'm disposed to which receiver, and then this receiver recovery how much of the residues out from this 1,000 kilo of the waste itself, and then how much residues that goes to the disposal landfill. Everything is all traceable. But then if Indonesia, they can't trace. So there will be a lot of issue of gutter oil, harmful to humans, because they just collecting the oil, they just simply do a filtrations, and then after that they resell again the used oil. So Malaysia, why we don't want to improvise all this kind of simple procedure is because we want to make sure the traceability of all the record and the waste inventory that currently circular inside our Malaysia economy, Malaysia market. We have a numerous kind of discussion with all the legal enforcement and legal entity itself, and then usually we coming out a lot of disputes. So that's why we said everyone can become the waste receiver, but then in the end of the day, no such thing. because people still will take advantage on when they do something. So it must be licensed up and then it must be recognized by our agency before we can launch any programs.
So there should be a lot more collection centers, even in small places.
Yes,
Because all
it
the ones
does.
I see, it bring me straight to Selangor, Putrajaya.
Yes. So that is the thing. We try to do these things more. We try to let more license holder, we can say, publicize in our public eyes. Because in JB basically have a lot of recovery facilities, receiver, but then all of them are not listed inside my e-waste. I already bring this issue to Department of Environment, ask them to putting on all these waste receiver inside my e-waste app, so all of you can know which are the recycle, we can say, premises that basically being licensed by Department of Environment to collecting the e-waste. And then here, I got another 2 more questions. I think one from Zoe. Well, actually, during the manufacturing, hazardous gases are still being produced, so pollution is like non-stop. Okay, so Zoe, I want to highlight with you, currently we can say in the manufacturing industry, all the hazardous gases like acid fumes, alkaline fumes, even some of the chlorine gases, cyanide gases, we all have the proper air pollution control system in order to scrub off the gases fumes. So we make sure all the gases releasing out from our chimney to the public ambience is clean from any harmful substances. Okay, this already being emphasized by our Department of Environment under our new regulations, which is Clean Air Regulation 2014, and then already fully came in force on the 1st of June 2019. So in these 2 to 3 years time, basically you are trying to bring down a lot of air pollution control issues. Okay, air pollution control, we are trying to improvise a lot. So most of the time, the one that generating a lot of CO and CO2 is come from a transport vehicle comparing to the industrial activities. And then Jenny, I heard some country will collect or even buy the rubbish from another country. I'm really curious about that, like why they do that. Is there any benefit or what? Okay. Under our Southeast Asia Alliance, we are under Basel Convention requirement. Okay, so that is in transboundary of the hazardous waste basically are forbidden among our Southeast country, okay, among our Asian countries. So we are producing a lot of e-waste out, but then we cannot just directly sending out all our used e-waste to another country. Okay, it's forbidden. So from the news, you can see from the newspaper and even from any social media news, you can realize that our Departments of Environment are trying to sending off. Once we receive the container that contain with rubbish or trash or any e-waste, there will be straight away, they will be contacting the responsible country, ask them to, we will sending back this container back to your country. And then you need to proper dispose and proper recovery your own waste inside your own country, rather than you exporting out to any other third-party countries for the recovery. Okay. So why people still import all these kind of waste coming in? Because they are treating all these waste as their natural resources, as their raw material. How they can benefit is because in Malaysia, no one, we can say, no citizens know I'm the waste collector. All of you are disposing all your waste into the rubbish, into the trash can, into the dustbin. And then I'm the proper waste recovery facilities, but then I don't have the raw material. My raw material is all the raw e-waste, but then no one disposed to me. So what I want e-waste. So I'm doing the illegal import. The e-waste from the third party, from all of the countries, other countries I'm importing my raw materials. So how to avoid this thing happens? All of you know where is the proper recovery facilities. And then you are disposing all your used e-waste to the proper recovery facilities. They have the sufficient raw material on hand. So they just producing and doing all the recoveries based on the e-waste being generated in Malaysia. So we no need to do any illegal import. Okay. Okay, thanks, Jenny. I'm answering your questions, Eddie. So any more questions on the floor? Or else already 3:30. It seems a little bit overshoot. Am I overshoot the time? MC?
Yes, a bit.
MC already say I overshoot the time. Okay. So
Okay, thank
I will
you.
pass back to MC. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rtn Donald, for answering our questions and the interesting sharing. So next, we will have the Rotary's President Ryan Tan to give his speech.
Thank you, Chloe, OC Chloe Lim. A very good afternoon to Ms. Lam, the teacher advisor of Interact Club of TIGS, Rtn Donald Ong, our distinguished speaker for today's webinar, Rtn Sukai, the advisor of Interact Club of TIGS, my fellow Rotarians, my dear interactors, and distinguished guests. I'm honored being invited to give the closing speech for today's webinar. I feel so great as I can see many of our Rotarians are here to support this event. And I can see a full participation from interactors of TIGS. Well done to all of you. E-waste is becoming a critical global problem, as today, everyone is having more than one electronic devices. Gaining a proper knowledge of dismantle and disposal of e-waste is fundamental to keep our environmental friendly and sustainable. Dear interactors, despite of the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm glad that you can roll out the meaningful project as today. Thanks to the great effort of the President Tzu Ching and OC Chloe Lim. Last but not least, my sincere gratitude to Ms. Lam for leading the Interact Club of TIGS for so many years. You really an inspiration to them to move forward. I wish to see interactors to implement more meaningful projects in the near future. Dear interactors, keep up your good work, momentum, and good spirit of Interact Club. Together, we can serve to change life, and do remember the spirit of Interact, service above sales. Thank you.
Thank you, President Brian Tan. Lastly, I would like to invite our teacher advisor, Ms. Lam, to say a few words.
Oops, my mic is already on. Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon to our distinguished speaker for today, Rtn Donald Ong, and then our president, Brian Tan. And I only got to know today that our Rotarian advisor is Rtn Lim Su Kai. Is that who's that?
It's me.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Today, especially to Rtn Donald Ong for your insightful presentation on e-waste. I myself, I learned a lot about it. And because I also always have been wondering what to do with my phone, what to do with my laptop, and trying to get rid of this one, getting a new one, but what to do with it. All right. So I hope the members, today actually with us today, it's not just the members of the Interact Club of TIGS, we also have some other students as well. Okay, so after today, I hope that you have understood. I think you understand because we have been teaching this in school. You understand the importance of disposing waste, e-waste or whatever kind of waste in a responsible manner. All right, but the important thing is to practice it. And as what Rtn Donald Ong say, to promote it to more people. All right, especially people around you, people who are close to you. Because if you promote, yes, of course we can promote to others, the public, but who will really listen to you? The people who are closest to you, right? Your friends, your family. I've been trying to convert my mom for years. And finally, she is more into a garden compost now. Okay, and then to show our appreciation, we have actually, Chloe.
Yes.
All right, to show our appreciation, we have actually prepared a cert for Rtn Donald Ong. I'm not sure whether Chloe is able to show it here.
Yes, she was allowed to share.
Okay, so to show our appreciation on behalf of the Interact Club of TIGS, I would like to present this cert, or if she cannot show it now, maybe later. All right, we will send it to immediately after this session. We will send it to Rtn Donald Ong. Chloe, no?
Yes, no, teacher.
Okay, no, it's all right. You try. Then thanks, of course, to all the Rotarians who have taken your time to come here just for our school. This is actually on Wednesday, we have our Interact Club extracurricular activities on most Wednesdays. We are supposed to have it at least around 5, because usually it's 7 to 8 times, but because of the pandemic, at least 5 times because of the constraints of, well, some students can't even attend classes because of they don't have the money to buy the internet data. All right, so yeah, so we at least encourage them to come at least 5 times. And so, yeah, thank you to the Rotarians, all of you here. I'm so sorry, I do not know everyone. I can see, I know Rotarian Teo Cheng Chuan, and who else? Okay, so lastly, thank you to the organizing committee led by Chloe Lim. They did a good job. And thank you every one of you here. The students are from TIGS. I can see some who are not, they are my students, but they are from my class, but they are not from my club. So thank you for attending. Thank you for asking all the questions. All right, back to you, Chloe.
Thank you, Ms. Lam, and thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. We hope you achieve what you came here to achieve. So this is the end of today's webinar, and thank you all. You may leave now.
Koi,
sorry.
Before we leave, we need to have a group photo. Can we have a group photo?
Okay, yes.
Another thing,
yes.
Sorry. I noticed that you're recording this, right?
Yes.
So can we have it so that maybe I can show it to other students in the school so that they understand more about e-waste?
We'll upload to the YouTube and we'll give you a link.
The link.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So to have a group photo, everyone had to switch on your videos and try to ensure that your face is appear in your view cam. So don't show only your body or maybe your head, okay?
Rachel Tan.
Try to show
Zining, Shermaine.
Some people only show their hair, you know.
Jesslyn.
Okay, and smile.
Zining, look at the camera.
Okay, ready? You might, because some really I think first time to use the Zoom, they don't know how to adjust their cam. Okay, okay, ready? Okay, we will take 2 shots because we have 2 pages. Okay, first shot. Okay, second page. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, Koi.
Thank you everyone for joining today's activity. You may leave now.
Chloe, and then thank you.
Okay, we offer for students to stay here for your fellowship. Rtn will left. Okay, you all can keep stay here to continue your fellowship. We will off the record now. Thank you.
Bye.
Excuse me, wait, Rtn Donald Ong.
Yes.
If let's say they have any more questions about disposal of e-waste, I mean, where should we